Hey everyone, I'm making this video to explain to you that a couple weeks ago I became a Bitcoin Maxi. And while I started saving my money, dollars in Bitcoin, most people don't even, well, they probably have heard of Bitcoin, but they haven't really gotten into to study Bitcoin. I have been studying Bitcoin for the past 2.5, 3 years. I'm investing in it, trading it, but now I have, I guess you could say, more so buckled down. I've gotten more sustainable in life to where I can stop taking money from savings and just put some here, put some there every week. And people might ask, why Bitcoin? Why not anything else? Why not the S&P 500? Why not real estate or any other type of vehicle to create cash flow? And I'll tell them this: what other asset do you know is finite, is capped to 21 million? Nothing else. Everything else can be easily made again, can be easily attainable. It can be printed, okay? One, the dollar can be printed into infinity. I don't think that not that many people get that. And another thing, I saw a TikTok probably like 4 or 5 days ago, and it's been sticking with me since, and it's probably why I'm making this video. The dollar is a means of exchange. It's not something we park our money at. And you see what I'm saying? Money is the medium of exchange to acquire assets. We are the resource, okay? Okay, so when it comes to economics, we want to think about 3 things, okay? We want to think about resource, energy, probably like 4 or 5 things, okay? Resource, energy, time, assets. Yeah, I'm probably gonna say those 4 things. Okay? So we use our energy and our time, okay? We use our energy and our time to get the medium of exchange, and through that medium of exchange, we acquire assets, okay? That we park our energy and time into, okay? And I don't think not that many people get that. We park our time and energy into the medium of exchange, and then let that be it. Not even knowing that the medium of exchange is being printed and inflated into infinity, okay? When it comes to parking our time and our energy, we want to put that in the most deflationary asset that there is, the most hard to come by asset that can't be printed, you know? And I feel like the more people that get that, the less problems that there will be in this world, okay? And like I said, we are the resource, okay? And so our time and our energy is our most valuable resource, okay? We spend our whole life working, okay? You work 40 hours a week, and you work 40 hours a week to pay for things that you don't need, right? Especially here in America, we're so consumer based. Everything that we say we need, we just want, right? But we don't need it. Like, people go out there, they buy a car for $30,000, right? And then people place a loan on that, and then they get interest on top of that. So that's even more money that you have to pay for something that you don't need, you just want. See what I'm saying? And even when it comes to a house, I feel like a house is something that you need. But I say living below our means is something that Americans do not do well. And as you can see, if we don't live below our means, things just keep getting inflated. I feel like that's why I'll be saving in Bitcoin. I've garnered this lifestyle over a certain amount of time, like 3-4 years. I've been studying Bitcoin for like 3-4 years, and it literally is energy stored Like it's energy that is mined, okay? The mining is the energy, okay? It's computational energy that is then stored on a ledger, on a network that nobody can change. It's immutable. Immutable means nobody can change what's been written down, okay? And that's because it's been, what's the word? It's been placed there by many other people on this one network, okay? And I mean probably billions, okay? Billions and billions and billions of computers, okay? Pit this down and they're like, yeah, I agree this, I agree this, I agree this, I agree this. And it's not controlled by one central authority like the dollar and the Federal Reserve. One thing that I feel like Americans also forget is that the dollar isn't just here in America, okay? It's the global reserve currency. It's, held in Turkey, or, I can't say held in Turkey, but, it's more prominent. It's more powerful than any other currency on this earth, okay? And since it is the global reserve currency, many other countries use it and depend on it, just like we do. So if we, here at home experience inflation, if we here at home experience rising costs, imagine what other countries are experiencing. Not to mention, we print to the trillions just here with the dollar. Imagine other people's currencies. Like, our currency is up here compared to their currency. And so their life is just being devalued. Like, imagine you work 30 years of your life, right? 40 hours a week. Your whole life is basically gone, okay? And so you park your money, or you park your hard-earned time into, the dollar, or into this currency, your homeland currency, just for it to be inflated away by a corrupt government, okay? There's nothing you can do. Like, there's literally nothing you can do, and that's the saddest part. But there is something you can do. You can get back that time and money. I can't say get it back, but park it into a better asset that is deflationary, that's not controlled by one central party or a group of people. This thing about Bitcoin is controlled by everybody around the world, globally. I feel like Bitcoin has no borders, okay? It follows global liquidity. There's not a lot of things that control it besides global liquidity. And liquidity just means how much money is in the global markets. So, I can transact from somebody from Turkey or Nigeria and, help them find a better asset to park their money into. And this all started with the Federal Reserve in 1913. If you ever read the book, The Monster of Jekyll Island, it talks about the creation of the Federal Reserve and how ever since then, it just shows the flow of money and inflation that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But it goes more so up than it goes down, right? And even back then in 1913 to 1970s, we were on the gold standard, right? So we tied each dollar to a certain amount of gold. So it was actually backed by something. It was actually very powerful to say that you held the dollar, right? Until 1971, when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And after that, we just have went to shit. There's nothing to back it. It's just paper. It can literally be printed, taken off a tree, and that's it. You know how many trees there are in the world? You know how many trees can grow in this world? That's how much dollars that there are in this world. And when I mean the, what's the word? Basically, it can be printed into the infinity, right? So why would you want to park your money there? Why would anybody in the world want to park their money there? And that's the thing. Nobody should want to park their money in the dollar, and not just the dollar, fiat in general. Okay. So people that be like, okay, cool, I'll just put it into a tech stock. For what? For the tech stock to create a product? Like I don't think people understand when you're investing into stocks, you're investing into a product, right? Nvidia. Okay, everybody's heard of Nvidia. It's the most AI tech company that there is. Okay, besides ChatGPT and anyway. So Nvidia has these products, GPUs, graphics cards that come out, and they revolutionize gaming in the computer industry, in the PC industry. But I don't think people realize you're investing into a product. So if that product does poorly, that company does poorly. And if the company does poorly, then the stock does poorly. So either way, you're putting your money into a company for a product, not just for the devaluation of an asset or a devaluation of a currency. People park their money into Bitcoin because ever since 1971, the dollar has just been devalued time over time and time again. And if it comes to politics, it doesn't matter. Your money is still just going to be devalued. It just depends on who's going to devalue it. That's why I go neither red or blue, because either way the money's going to be devalued. So what's the actual point? Okay, and so second best, gold, right? And this is where we get down to the little tier list, right? You have gold and you have Bitcoin, and when you want to compare those two things, you want to look at these, I want to say 4 or 5 characteristics. Is it easily transferable? Gold isn't easily transferable. You'll have to get probably thousands of dollars to transfer gold from here to anywhere else. 2, is it easily divisible? No. You literally have to melt gold down to sell it. With Bitcoin, it literally goes into 0.0000 or even into Satoshis, right? Which I call the cents. Like, how the dollar has cents. Bitcoin has Satoshis. After its creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay. And what is it? Centralization. Okay. How would you go get the gold? Okay, you can go buy the gold from, somebody that's selling it over here for this amount of money, right? But you still have to barter to try to get it at this price. That's the thing with Bitcoin. It's at this set price of dollars. And you can buy it at that time for that set price. And then that's it. And so I think Bitcoin just wins out of that whole category. And another thing, can it be confiscated, right? So let's say you do something the government doesn't like, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna come and confiscate your gold. You're cooked. You're cooked. It's physical, so it's easily for them to come and confiscate it, right? All they gotta do is just get a search warrant for your house, and they're getting your gold. Bitcoin, they can't come and confiscate it. Okay, right? So I have a ledger, right? I've had a ledger for the past 2.5, close to 3 years. And they can't come confiscate it. I mean, they can confiscate the ledger itself, yes, but what's in the ledger, they cannot confiscate that. They can't take that away, because I have the 12 seed phrases that that are in my mind, right? I've had this for like 2.5, 3 years, so I know my seed phrase forward and back. That's something that they can't take away from me because it's in here, right? And like I said, with gold, they can just easily confiscate it. So when it comes to gold versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin easily wins. I can send Bitcoin across the world in about, it'll settle, confirm on the blockchain in 10 minutes. But when it comes to gold, it literally will take so long for me to get that to the other side of the world. It's just, it's crazy for me to make this video because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it's so easy for people to just understand and study Bitcoin and just be like, wow, this is the best thing ever invented. And it's because of 2008, the financial crisis, the housing market, the Lehman Brothers, everything that went down there, or was it Lehman Brothers? Yeah, Lehman Brothers. And Bitcoin was born out of that. Like, imagine you're just working hard, living your life. I was a successful business person, just for that to be taken away because other people don't know how to manage the economy, don't know how to manage the markets, right? Things get overinflated, and then they pop. And that's where I feel like this, I can't even call this an economy. This hyperinflated, I'll call it that. This hyperinflated economy is coming to. Houses are overpriced. Cars are overpriced. Literally everything is overpriced. Shoes, cars, like clothes, everything, products, services, everything is getting overpriced. And people just want more money. And they want more money because it's getting harder to live. And why is it getting harder to live? Because of inflation. Okay, everything derives back to inflation and the dollar just being printed into infinity, right? And so I don't think people realize we're on the cusp of this bubble is about to pop, and I want to make sure me and my loved ones are good. I even have a screenshot of me back in, actually, I can actually pull it up, of me back in 2022, investing in the Bitcoin, stacking it in my ledger. And it was the best thing that I've ever done. Back when I can buy Bitcoin for 0.00, or I can buy $100 of Bitcoin for 0.01. Now I try to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin and it's 0.001. So it's 10 times more valuable now to buy Bitcoin. Okay. Let me pull this up. It's 2023. Okay. Okay, you see this? I think that's my oldest transaction history. Actually, y'all probably can't see it, but it's definitely something that I'm gonna show y'all later. I'm gonna have it pulled up so y'all could see. But people don't realize Bitcoin, everything against Bitcoin literally just falls. Okay. You have gold goes down against Bitcoin. Houses goes down against Bitcoin. Everything gets cheaper as time goes against Bitcoin. And people just need to understand there is a finite supply. You have 21 million, actually 19 million, because people who have lost their seed phrases, they're never accessing that Bitcoin again. So that's lost Bitcoin. And then you have Satoshi's wallet, who, I think he locked up a million Bitcoin, or 1.5 million. Anyway, no, I think he locked about 1 million. So either way, that Bitcoin is locked, gone. So there's about 19.5 million Bitcoin actually left to get. You have people like BlackRock and MicroStrategy and Jack Mahler's new enterprise. They're trying to call 21 Capital, with Cantor Fitzgerald and Tether. Like, they're just trying to get more dollars to buy more Bitcoin. And even with the Bitcoin ETFs, they're allowing institutions to buy Bitcoin. So what does that tell you? You literally can't get caught lacking, because things are just going to get more and more expensive. The S&P 500 just experienced its ninth day in a row in the green, and that hasn't happened since 2020. So what do you think is about to happen? All right, the ninth day in a row of straight green. Like, and this is in the midst of the tariff talk, right? And that's another thing. Tariffs aren't going to do anything but make shit more expensive. As you can see, Shein, where people go and get their cheap products from China, that has gone up in price. I think DHgate has gone up in price. Walmart's saying, oh yeah, we're going to have stuff off the shelf because shit's just going to get more expensive and we don't have the capital for it. They have the capital for it. They just don't want to, be at a loss for our needs, right? And I'm just going to say it's just going to get crazy bad. And not to mention AI is about to come and it's going to replace a lot of jobs. So people won't even have the access to get income, right? Especially digitally. Like if you work remote, AI can just do that and your job is done. And even sometimes factories. I mean, people, AI robots are coming in the next few years, they'll be swapping places with us and we'll be the ones at home and they'll be the ones working, producing everything. Meanwhile, these companies are just going to keep getting more and more money because they're taking more profits from not even having to pay workers. They just have to pay for the maintenance for the AI, right? And so universal basic income becomes a thing and digital dollars become a thing and CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, become a thing, right? And people have to realize if people stop working, where will the money go? Or not where will the money go, but who will be making the money, right? AI and the companies. And not to mention if AI has, starts, what's the word? Okay, so people want to make AI agents, right? So basically some AI agent will work for somebody and it'll get the job done and it'll receive money. AI won't have a bank account, right? AI will have to transverse, mediums of exchange, pay people, pay, its owner in Bitcoin or whatever other cryptocurrency. And I say Bitcoin because that's the most finite asset there is. Like you can't, especially since it's digital too, so AI has its accessibility to it. People just have to realize, bro, it's getting about that time, and it's not too late. It's not too late. You like, if you're in the not in the talks, but wanting to acquire a whole Bitcoin, you might be done, okay? But if you want to acquire like half a Bitcoin or a quarter of a Bitcoin, you can do that. You can easily do that, and that's what I'm gearing up for. Not to talk about me personally and what I'm trying to get, but I want to get at least a quarter or a half of a Bitcoin, right? Because if you think about it, if you can get half a Bitcoin, you'll get, what is it? I can't think about the decimals, but you can imagine if Bitcoin controls all of the medium of exchange within the whole country, right? Or even to park money safely. That's what I'm saying. When we think about mediums of exchange, we're thinking about just dollars. You're not even thinking about where to park money like real estate or stocks, right? And Bitcoin is above real estate and stocks and the dollar. So you're gonna imagine all that money that's in real estate, stocks, and the dollar, and just push that all into Bitcoin. So you can imagine Bitcoin's market cap. I think we're at like 2 trillion market cap with Bitcoin. I think the global economy is 90 trillion. It's either 90 trillion or 900 trillion. Either way, you can imagine that money going and flooding into Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin smells liquidity and money that's flowing around in the economy, the money gets pushed into the hardest asset that there is. And that's just common sense. And that's what I'm saying. AI will push its hard-earned time and energy into something that is energy, right? That's what I'm saying. I just want people to realize that, okay? And that's why I'm not saving in dollars anymore. It'll come to a point where I'll have more Bitcoin than I do dollars in my bank account. And that's a good thing. To me, that's a totally good thing. I live a low lifestyle. I don't need much. I'm a guy. I cut my own hair. I don't need any other type of maintenance, even though I do need a haircut. I cut my own hair. And that's all I really do. I play video games, and I work, and I want to park my money in the best asset that there is. Okay. And again, I know I don't have the picture to show you guys, but here let me see, November 17th, 2022, I received 0.0108 Bitcoin for $180. If you try to acquire that much Bitcoin now, it's going to cost you like $900. Okay. And this was November 17th, 2022. This was it's not even 3 years ago. All right. So imagine something 10x's in not even 3 years. And you park your money there for the rest of your life because it's the hardest, most finite asset that there is. Like, people won't understand this, and that's okay. Because in the words of Michael Saylor, people will buy Bitcoin at the price they deserve. I was buying, I think the price was like 15, 16K at the time. And I just want people to understand this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for people my age. I'm 25, okay? So I didn't have the opportunity to invest in the stocks and, Amazon and Nike and all this when things were coming up. But I can invest into this, right? This is digital gold. This is literally digital gold. It's being mined by people across the world. And I want to park my money here. This is energy, right? So I know I want to leave something for my kids. I'm not sure about you. I'm not sure if you want to get your future family set up for life. Because in 2140, I know I'll be gone. I'll be cooked by 2080 probably. Lord forbid. Okay? I'll probably be cooked by 2085, 2090. And by then, I would want to give my kids something that they can pass on to their kids, and that they can pass on to their kids, and that they can pass on to their kids. This is setting my family up with generational wealth for the name on the back of my jersey, right? You see what I'm saying? And that's why they tell us to start young. Because time is the other most valuable asset that we have in this world, in this universe, right? Time compounds, it's just over time, it just gets better. And with time, Bitcoin just gets better. So it's like, what more can we do? What is there more to say? I just feel happy, I'm happy that I'm able to, invest in an asset that something like this happened at this time. I'd rather be born now in this time than back then in the 1970s, 80s, when stocks were on the rise and, my parents could invest in it, I'd rather invest into this than stocks back then, because I know this is generational wealth, not that. This is computational equations and power being mined from people across the world that can't be controlled by nobody else, that, it's truly yours. You're your own bank. And that's the part I just love about it. That's the part I just love about it. I'm sorry. I might be dick eating. I don't care. I'll dick eat Bitcoin for the rest of my life. Y'all can clip that. I don't give two shits. Yeah, man. I'm happy. and I'll post the Bitcoin white paper down in the comments below. And yeah, I hope y'all boys stay safe and study Bitcoin. And that's all we can do. And for people, you know, this is how we change things. This is how we flip, right? Whoever comes first, whoever was last will end up being first, and whoever was first will end up being last, right? Because you get used to something for so long that things get swept from up under you. But when you're in last, you're always looking for a head up, and this is the head up, okay? All right, love y'all. Peace. Be safe.